So for Keanu, what was it like for you to kind of return back to the character?
Yeah, I mean, I love. I've had a really amazing time making the Bill and Ted films, and to do Face the Music was a really special opportunity. Not one that I thought might happen. It took a lot, over 8 years to get the film made. Um, but it was. I was really excited about the chance to work with Alex again and to reprise the role, especially with something so unique as reprising a role 30 years later. Um, yeah, that doesn't happen very often, and so it was cool to have that experience.
Alex, was it a similar situation for you? Because obviously 8 years is a long time to kind of like almost to do something, but then so were you just always gearing up for the potential for it to happen again?
No, because the way getting this film made went, we didn't really know we were going to make it until very close to when we actually started making it. So I think both of us were feeling, we'd made it clear that we were interested in doing it, and we just went on about our lives and didn't really even expect to be in production, almost right up until when we started. So the prep work began when we knew we were making the film, but up until then, we were just like, hey, we think this thing's cool, but let us know when you're ready to go.
What do you think it is about these characters that are just they're so likable? Is it was it always on the page, or did you guys like add yourselves into it that kind of made it into these charming icons at this point?
Yeah, I mean, I guess what would Bill and Ted be like with the wonderful, amazing artists? Like, what if Willem Dafoe and Daniel Day-Lewis played Bill and Ted?
I think we've got a sequel idea. Now, that's a reboot I would watch. I would watch that reboot. I would.
But what do you think it makes them so likable then? I mean, was it always on the page, basically?
I think that look, I don't think anyone knows what makes something infectious or stay in the culture. It has to just have certain things that sparks the audience in a way. I think for us, for me, the scripts, the characters that Chris Matheson and Solomon created they're very fun to play. They're very fun to this dialogue that's extremely well written. That's very fun to say. They're very physical. Keanu and I like working together. There's an aspect of physicality between us and sort of finishing each other's sentences, and I think that's fun. Certainly fun for us to play, and hopefully that transfers to the audience. So, and then they always create really interesting ensembles of other casts around Bill and Ted, and so I think the worlds that the writers, it really starts with them, that they build are kind of fun gymnasiums for everyone to play in.
Without any spoilers, do you have a favorite line from this current film that you can kind of just leak out?
No.
I mean, I think, oh gosh, a favorite line. Um, just so chuffed. I mean, it was funny when Bill and Ted had English accents for a second.
Yeah.
And what was your line out of that one scene? I thought Dave Grohl was coming back this week. I told you.
I told you he was coming back this week.
Yeah, Dave Grohl.
Yeah.
Dave Grohl makes an appearance, and I don't know. I just thought that. I mean.
Yeah, it was actually fun for us to actually, and I don't know when this is coming out because it's a bit of a spoiler, but it was fun for us to actually say, Dave Grohl! The words Dave Grohl are funny, and they're particularly funny in the mouths of Bill and Ted. And we were cracking ourselves up, literally just saying, Dave Grohl! We walked around the set all day going, Dave Grohl!
That's awesome. That's good enough for me. I'm sure people are going to start doing that when they see him, if they see him on the street. How did Keanu? Let's ask you. How did your character grow from Excellent Adventure and now Face the Music over this course of 30 years?
I think he's he's had the responsibilities of a family and the relationships with his wife and his daughter, and with his friendship, you know, with Bill and his family. And I think he's grown up by, he didn't know about the pressures of growing up as a kid. You know, he's kind of, and now he's experienced those, and I think it's weighing on him that, you know, there's a part of Ted that feels like he's letting people down, you know, and I think, and it's only because he cares, you know, and so that was one of the developments for the character.
Alex, then how did your characters not grow from the first film to this film then?
I think that there's a kind of a clinging to the dream that we were going to fulfill this very specific destiny, even though all evidence is pointing to the contrary at the point that you meet us. There's a kind of eternal optimism that Bill and Ted have, and especially Bill has, that is just going to work itself out. It's just going to happen because Rufus told us it would happen, and because we've been invested all this time in fulfilling this destiny. So that's an aspect of the character that's not stunted, but is still kind of caught up in the past in that way. That was really fun to play from a comic standpoint. You know, being stuck on something is a fun thing to play.
But I mean, I guess that's one of the favorite lines too, is when Ted, because they go to family therapy, couples therapy, when Ted says to Bill, "But isn't that the problem?" And then Bill says,
"Yeah, but it's also the solution."
That might be my favorite exchange.
I giggled during that line too. Last question: if you guys could travel anywhere in time, where would it be, and why would you go there?
From a thespian standpoint, I just want to like solve this whole like Shakespeare question. Did Shakespeare write the plays? Was it, you know, Edward de Vere? Like, what's going on here? Who wrote them, for God's sake? And I know that there was a group of people who wrote some of the plays, but the tragedies have a singular perspective and voice. So I'm going to go back in the past, and I'm just going to answer the Shakespeare question.
And you, Alex?
I just want to see King Lear done back in that era. So like I'm down, like Keanu can like be backstage figuring that out. I just want to be like in the front row having some mead and so a mutton leg and watching some King Lear.
Burbage.
I mean, how amazing would that be to see those actors? Anyway, yes.
That's awesome. Thank you guys. Hope it wasn't too painful. And you guys did everything that we needed. So thank you so much.
Great.
Welcome. Thank you.